Welcome to the first video of 2021. I'm Max from the All Black fan page, and today I'm going to be making a video on 5 Super Rugby Aotearoa players to watch. Last year was the, unfortunate first ever season of Super Rugby Aotearoa, and as lockdowns around the world have yet to end due to COVID-19, we will be getting yet another season of Super Rugby Aotearoa. While the boys won't be playing as many games, it's going to be an amazing competition, and so I've picked 5 players from each Super Rugby Aotearoa team for you guys to watch during the 2021 season. I'm going to start with the Hurricanes and do it in a reverse of alphabetical order. So for the Canes, I've got Duplessis Kirifi. Now, Duplessis Kirifi was omitted from the North Island team, unfortunately, to a lot of the Hurricanes fans during the North vs South clash. However, Kirifi ended up getting ahead of Lachlan Bowshare, and when Ardie Savia was remaining in New Zealand for the birth of his son, Duplessis Kirifi went to Australia as potential cover for Savia. Kirifi did not earn a cap while the All Blacks were in Australia during the, I guess we can call it an end of year tour for 2020. But although he wasn't capped, clearly he's doing something right, as he was indeed on Fozzie's radar and was called into the squad. After a bit of time in the All Blacks camp, he definitely would have learned a few good new things to kind of help him get to that next level, and so I think he's worth keeping an eye on, as he could have made several improvements over the off-season. Now, I'm going to read out who I think is from Highlanders. So, Kazuki Himeno is the number 8 for Japan right now, and this is going to be his first year playing for the Highlanders. Kazuki Himeno, even though he plays for Japan, is a huge, big guy, and I remember in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, he was very good for Japan from number 6 and number 8, and he also plays at 7. Because he's such a world-class athlete and one of the best players in the world, I think it would be worth New Zealand fans having a look at this young Japanese star, because he's going to make massive impact at the Highlanders regardless of where he gets played. Billy Harmon and James Lentjes are the, specialist open side flankers available to the Highlanders right now, and they've got a huge waiting line at the number 6 and 8 jerseys, so I'm thinking that Kazuki Himeno rather is going to be playing a bit of open side flanker for the Highlanders, but I guess we'll see how that turns out, and I'm going to get you guys to pay as much attention to Kazuki Himeno as possible, okay? For the Crusaders, I've got Tom Sanders. I remember very vividly he had this amazing game for the Chiefs back in 2016, as that's where he started his Super Rugby career. Tom Sanders had a lot of actually outstanding games for the Chiefs back then, but in 2017 he came back home to Christchurch and he made the Crusaders. Unfortunately, he hasn't really played too many games for the Crusaders over the years, as he has had a couple of injury issues. However, in 2020, things kind of made a turn for the best actually for Tom Sanders. Feshu Kamukamo Douglas was suspected as a potential captain, and although he wasn't chosen as the captain for the Crusaders in 2020, he was still an influential figure before COVID began in March 2020. Eventually, during Super Rugby Aotearoa, however, Tom Sanders kind of, leapfrogged Douglas in that pecking order, and Sanders eventually went to be the first choice number 8 for the South Island in that one-off game that they played. I think Tom Sanders was amazing towards the end of Super Rugby Aotearoa, and even one of the best players in the field in the North vs South match, so I'm hoping that Tom Sanders can continue his good form, and I think he's going to be one to watch. For the Chiefs, it's another forward again. I've done all forwards for this video so far. I have Tupou Va'ai. Tupou Va'ai is the youngest ever All Black, not based on the age he was on his debut, but by that I mean he was the first All Black to be born in the 2000s, in the 21st century. He was born in January 2000, which makes him younger than me. Yeah, my All Black dreams are gone now. So Tupou Va'ai was not even in contract with the Chiefs when 2020 began, and he was just fencing with his father throughout lockdown, but eventually the Chiefs just continued to have injury after injury after injury, as they always seem to have. And by the end of Super Rugby Aotearoa, he was probably one of the few bright shining lights for the Chiefs, and although there's daylight between him and the other All Black locks, I thought, the guy's good enough, let's give him a chance, get him in there, see how he goes, and luckily he made the squad and my prediction was correct, and it's been awesome to see that young guy get developed, and he appears to be working very, very hard in the off season. I've seen things in his story, he's in the gym on New Year's Eve, everything like that, and I'm thinking that when Super Rugby Aotearoa begins once again, Super Rugby is going to be even better than he was last year. And last but not least, we have Jacob Ratumaitavuki Neepkins, who is only 19 years old. He's a fullback and winger who has recently been signed for the Blues in his rookie Super Rugby season. Neepkins plays for Taranaki right now, and he was also in the All Black Sevens. He was even looked at as a prospect by the Parramatta Eels, who are a rugby league team from Australia. Neepkins is incredibly fast, he's incredibly agile, and he even seems to have a pretty decent boot. The dude's only 19 years old, and if he's in Super Rugby already, he's clearly got some promise, and every time I saw Taranaki play in the Mitre 10 Cup last year, he was outstanding, he was one of the best players on the field, and I'm thinking that Jacob Neepkins could possibly even become an All Black if he keeps improving the way he is. So he's the one to watch for 2021 for the Blues. Thank you so much for watching the video on my 5 Super Rugby Aotearoa players to watch for 2021, and enjoy the rest of your day, okay guys? Cheers.